Righto, you guys asked for it, so here it is. This is my review on how the Surface Book 2 video edits. Now, I know people get hung up on rendering, so here's your rendering times. Now, what's very interesting is this Surface Book 13-inch with the 2GB GTX 1050 and a 15W quad-core Kaby Lake R. It was supposed to be the Coffee Lake, but it's called Kaby Lake R regardless. Anyway, it's within a bee's diaphragm of the 15-inch MacBook Pro that has AMD Radeon Pro 560 in it. That's amazing. This is a 13-inch laptop and it can render as fast as a MacBook Pro 15-inch. Wow. So if you want to know the difference between the 13-inch Surface Book 2 and the 15-inch Surface Book 2 in terms of video editing, well, you might want to look at my video where I compare the GTX 1050 to the GTX 1060 in video editing. That will give you some sort of idea about the difference video editing in the timeline and exporting using a laptop with a GTX 1050 and a laptop with a GTX 1060. And as you'll see on this table here, you will see that the GTX 1060 are not that far apart when you consider that the Alienware 13 and the XPS 15 have the same CPU. You've got to remember that the 15-inch Surface Book still does use a 15W quad core, and it's not as powerful as the 45W quad cores that go in the Alienware or the XPS 15. So it's not going to render as fast as those. It may be in between them or maybe a little bit slower than the XPS 15, just because the difference is the XPS 15 and Alienware, they can sustain all core burst of 3.4 GHz, whereas the Surface Book, particularly in this 13-inch, I know the 15-inch is supposed to be tuned a bit faster, but it's not going to sustain 3.4 GHz all cores rendering. This Surface Book will burst up to 2.8, and then after a couple of minutes it will go down to its stock speed of 1.9, and then it will burst up and down depending on the temperature, up to 2.5, and then it'll go back down to 1.9. It'll just fluctuate in between there, but it's never going to sustain the 3.4 gigahertz that the XPS 15 or Alienware can do. So, but in any case, you can see there's not that much difference between the 1060 and 1050 in rendering. And if you check out that video, you will see that there's not that much difference in the timeline as well. So anyway, let's jump into the timeline using the Surface Book 2 video editing. This is done in real time. If you don't like that sort of thing, well, probably don't watch, because it's quite a long video, but it's going to go through pretty much real world scenarios on your video project. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up there, champs, and why not subscribe? I've got a lot more content to come out about this Surface Book 2. So until next time, guys. Righto, tally ho. Now this is the 13-inch Surface Book. 2GB GTX 1050 quad core i7 8th generation. Now one of the reasons I'm trying out this laptop is because I'm very interested to see how it video edits. That's the main thing I do with my laptop, is video edit. Mostly I web surf, email and all that sort of mobile stuff, but generally I want a mobile workstation to be able to video edit my content. I use 4K. Now we already know this performs pretty well gaming. You can check out my gaming review, I will leave a link to it. But how does it perform video editing? Well, we're going to find out right now. So first things first, the SSD speeds in this were a little bit disappointing when I benchmarked it. More or less 2000 megabytes per second read and around 600 megabytes per second write. Now because the read speeds are so fast, it really doesn't matter. It won't affect video editing, and the reality is with only a USB Type-C there, you won't really be able to write much faster than 600 megabytes per second to this. There's no way to actually write on this that fast. I'm yet to see a USB-C product that can actually do 600 megabytes per second. So in reality, it probably won't affect you that much. Now what I will say is that if you are video editing, best practice is to actually connect a external SSD to this via the USB or USB-C there, connect an SSD to it, and you'd put your footage and your cache there. That is the optimal way to run video editing. Now, the reality is most people won't do that. They'll put their footage on the actual laptop itself here, and then they'll video edit off the laptop. So you're actually putting your footage on the same hard drive that Windows is running on. So that is not optimal to start off with. Seeing as most people will do it that way, we'll try it that way. So let's start a new project. Call it whatever. I've already edited 3 videos on this, so I know how it performs already. On the most part, it is really good. So let's go desktop. Okay, and we'll select that folder because I know what's in that folder. Now, what you need to see is this green thing here. That's what you've got to keep your eye on. That is the frames indicator. So when that turns yellow, you might have dropped a couple of frames. When it turns red, yeah, your thing's dead. So just keep an eye on that. So I will just drag in some footage, 4K footage. This is off a Panasonic GH4 and GH5. I'll import that, and you can see it imported pretty fast. There's not much in there, to be honest. Now you might be able to hear core whine. I'll be quiet. Yeah, I can actually hear the core whine. When the sound's on, I can't hear it, but there is core whine. Anyway, let's get some 4K footage, okay? So I've got some 4K footage here. I'll just grab it out, put it on the timeline. Let's see if it plays. Okay, so this is on half. We'll change it to full. So this is full playback here. Let's see if it plays it. I'll just turn the sound down. So as you can see, it plays back 4K footage, no problem. Wow, that's good. 4K footage we're talking about here. 13-inch laptop. You try this on any other 13-inch laptop that doesn't have a discrete graphics card, MacBook Pro, XPS 13, whatever, it's not going to play 4K content back at full, real time, without dropping frames. So already that is good. Now, I'll just put a photo in. Now, a photo will kill any laptop. Pretty much only desktops can handle high resolution photos. Depends how high resolution it is. The photos here are off a D800, so they're like 36 megapixels. Oh, I went to the wrong one again. So I'll grab an image, and I'll be very surprised if that could actually play through that image there in real time. Already you can see the red bar. That means video memory is going to run out and it's not going to be able to play it. And as you can see, as I've added that in, you can see that it is dropping frames, but it's still very playable. Okay, so you'll see once it hits the high resolution photos or photo here, it's going to drop. Wow, it played through that. Amazing. Amazing. Actually, that is quite amazing. I'll add another one. And as you can see, red bar running out of memory there. You should not be able to play that back in real time. There we go. Very good. It can actually play the high resolution photos. I'll add one more. Now usually just the act of putting on a high resolution photo will kill it. This is amazing, it's actually doing this. Wow. Wow, this can video edit, you can tell. And yes, I've edited 3 videos with this, so I already know this, but amazing. A 13-inch laptop to do this. Still no frames dropped. We're talking full. Now, I would never edit on full on a laptop. I would always edit on half on the laptop. On the desktop, I'll do full. On the laptop, I'll do half. And this is playing it at full. 4K, high resolution photos, it's playing them. Alright, so alright, we'll do an animation here. Alright, let's see if we can play this back. Remember there, drop frames, have a look for them. What? You're kidding me. You're kidding me, you're kidding me. Alright, that is, you can't deny that is pretty good. You're talking 13-inch laptop here. Feels more like a 14-inch because it's 13.5, so this is like the perfect in-between. It's not quite as light and compact as a 13-inch, but it's much more powerful. It's not as big and cumbersome as maybe a 15-inch, but the screen's nearly as big. It's sort of in between. It's one thing, the trackpad. Yeah, you don't want to video edit with this trackpad. The Mac trackpad is the only trackpad I can video edit with. This is a good trackpad, but not for video editing. Paste attributes, yep. Okay, so 3 days are moving now. Let's see. Oh, what? Come, are you kidding me? This is, oh, there you go. There you go. We've reached limits. Okay. Now, even though that is dropping frames, and you can see the big red bit there where it's not running real time or it's run out of memory, whatever. What you'll see there is it is dropping frames, but look, have a look at the screen. Does it look like it's dropping frames? Does it look like it's lagging or it's like slow or skipping frames? It actually doesn't. It actually looks fine. Even though it's telling you it has dropped the frame or whatever, it might only be 1 frame it's dropped. Who knows? But that looks smooth. So the frames will drop. What I did before. Well, this is probably cached now, so it'll probably play through it. We've already established it can play back 4K content, no problem. It can actually play high resolution photos, which I did not think it would be able to do that. It's only when I add some like motion effects to those photos that it did start not playing back in real time. It started to drop frames. This is at full. This is a 13-inch laptop. This is amazing because usually only a 15-inch laptop with like a 4GB graphics card will be able to do this sort of thing. The MacBook Pro cannot do this. The 15-inch MacBook Pro cannot do this in Premiere. So the XPS 15 can, but the MacBook Pro can't. So that just tells you how much power this is. Obviously it's using a bit of CUDA as well. But let's see. Now, can it play back through all those? And even if it drops frames, just watch the window there as well. Is it actually like lagging or skipping frames? Can you actually notice it? This will technically tell you if it drops frames, but if you can't see it on the screen, it's actually still good for playback. Wow, this is amazing me. I did not expect this. Wow. That is just, I'm speechless. So let's add some color correction then. I cannot believe that still. So let's go to colors. This is log footage, as you probably see. It looks a bit dull or whatever. I'll add a LUT. Desktop, I think I got a LUT here. You'll see the footage change. Can it play back the LUT? Color correction applied to this 4K footage. Can it play it back? Well, that's like, yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. It's gonna die. It has to die when it hits the photos. You can hear the fan starting to kick in a little bit, but this is 4K content and high resolution 36 megapixel photos, playing it back full. Wow, and it's even playing through these animations. That is like crazy. And I know how it performs because I've done my last 3 videos on it, but just testing it like this, it just, yeah, I knew it was good. Like I was plowing through the 4K content with the video, with the pictures and everything like that. It was fine. It felt pretty much exactly like editing with my XPS 15. Didn't feel really that much difference. But doing this here, this is amazing. Like the 15-inch MacBook Pro cannot do this in Premiere. So, alright, so let's see if we can kill it. What are we going to do? We'll try and do some color corrections on the fly. play back some content. Let's do some color correction on the fly. Increase this blacks with saturation. Let's increase the saturation. I'm color correcting on the fly. Look at that. Oh my god. It's still, oh there you go. It was still playing back at full, like res, at full. No frames dropped while I was color correcting. Yeah, when I'd done a few more color corrections, it did eventually die. But if you actually keep an eye on the screen, you'll see that it actually doesn't look like it's dropping frames. It still looks smooth. So all this color correction I'm doing, like it's still, look at it. Still, oh, it's amazing. Eventually it's got to drop, come on. There you go, it dropped, but it still looks smooth. And as you can hear, the fans are kicking in now. That is amazing. So in the timeline, 4K content, 1080p, it will smash it. 4K content here, no problem. Full res, even high res photos, you're going to have no problems editing in the timeline. The last 3 videos I've published, and this one now will be obviously edited on this too. No problems whatsoever editing 4K content in the timeline. Alright, so yeah, I better drag some files in here. These are 4K, of course. I'll drag 2, I'll drag 3, and yeah, I'll just go to properties, whatever. 4K, 4K, right there, baby. Now, alright, so let's just chop some of these up. Just chop them up, chop, chop, chop. Okay, we'll see if we can play them back. Obviously, we know it plays back 4K content, but let's see if we can play back 3 4K streams at once. So, got one there, 4K, and that'll be the second one, and make you a bit smaller, whatever. So this is 3 4K streams here. Look for the indicator there. Will it stay green? Oh, will it die? Oh, it died. Okay, let's go back, try it again. So that's 3 4K screens. Now sometimes when it goes yellow there, as it just did, and it drops frames, sometimes that's just a bit of initial lag on the system. It has nothing to do with caching or whatever, but you'll see it's playing 3 4K streams. Okay, no problem. I had another one just for a laugh. Yeah, you can go up the top. How about that? Go up the top and make it smaller. So now this will be 4. Should be 4. Yep, 4 4K screens there, streams. Let's see. Oh, you died. Okay, no, it seems so. That's 4 4K streams, and it's playing them through no problems, and then just died. Okay, so, all right. So we'll go back to 3. 3 4K streams, no problem. So I guess my conclusion there is the video, the 2 GB video memory, it will affect if you're playing a few 4K streams together. But as you can see, you can pretty much play 3 4 4K streams for a little bit, and then it will obviously start dropping frames. But 1 or 2, 3, it seems okay. But if I put that on half, it'll just plow through it. I'll control Z that, and I'll put that stream back, and if I put it on half, which is how you should really edit with a laptop, it's just going to play that back, no problems. 4 4K streams, no problem. Oh, actually dropped a bit of frames there. Okay, so I think it's reaching that that video memory buffer it's reaching the limit of it. So let's see if it can just play through a transition. Let's see if it plays back. And it did. So it went through the cross dissolve there. I'll just make sure that it's we'll make it big. Make it big, baby. Come on. Work with me. Yes. You. Big too. Come on. Oh, damn it. What? The trackpad is no good for video editing. I'll give it a tip. Alright, let's go. Let's play it. Will it play through the transition? Will it play through it? And across dissolve here, it's green. It's all green. It's all green. Goes through the transition. Boom. There you go. 4K went through actually effect. And I didn't expect it to go through effects, but there you have it. It does it. So it can video edit like a beast. We'll just have a look at this project. This is a sample project, and I always use this as my rendering test because it's like a full project that I've done, I've uploaded, whatever, has everything in it. Let's have a look at it. Let's go ROG headset 1, I think that's the one. And we'll see actually how it plays back the content here, because this is heavily color corrected now. So this stage of the project, everything's done. The color correction, any transitions, what's going on here? It's with an old version, that's fine. Because it was done with a previous, like 215, Adobe 215, and this is 217, so. Yeah, so this is a finished project. So normally I would never even play that back with this in full. I would usually do it half with any laptop. Because usually once you apply all the color corrections and all that, you won't be able to play it back at full. There's no chance on a laptop you'll be able to do that. You can see lots of red there, lots of yellow, red. So you can see it's like a full-on project. Let's see if it can play it back in real time. Now, I don't expect it will. I don't know if it will. I haven't tested it. I know even the XPS 15 will struggle to do this once it's had every color correction applied, adjustment layer, we have transitions and stuff. So let's see. There you go. It's not going to play that back at full. Okay, so you would never edit like this. When you edit, you do the adjustments last, because you do the edit, you do the rough edit, you do the cuts, and then you add the color correction later. So you make sure the edit's right, because you do not want to be playing back with all the color correction done, all the effects done, and all that sort of stuff, because it's just going to choke down like a dog. But this cannot play it back in real time, but, well, it is a little bit, but does it look like it's dropping frames? It technically is, because it says it's dropping frames, but just have a look. How does it actually play back? I'll put it in full screen, okay? So this is playing this back on the timeline, color correction applied, everything. Does it look like it's dropping frames? It doesn't. Now obviously it does, because the drop frame indicator says it is, but to me it looks like it's playing back smooth. So this is amazing. 13-inch laptop, and we're talking about on full now. We're not talking about half, and this is everything. Everything's done, everything is applied. This is full on, like, just blowing me away. It's just, as you can tell, I'm speechless. There you go. There's the bit of a lag. Okay, now that's what you expect. You can see it lagging a bit now. Now I will tell you that even my desktop with a Titan X will get to the stage in a full project we will start doing that as well. So it's amazing. That's on full. Let's try it at half. Let's see. I don't even think it will play it at half, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, amazing. Still plays it back at half. So, and this is how I honestly would edit on a laptop. Always at half, because you're going to get that super snappy performance and you're never going to get the lag. You're never going to get any lag whatsoever. Look at that, it's playing through it at half, no problems. And the reality is, if you actually exported your raw footage to Cineform, you could play it at full all the time. Although Cineform will be big files, but it will uncompress it, and you'll be able to play it full all the time. And this is playing back at half, no problems. Amazing, a 13-inch laptop, doing this. It's fantastic. And we're talking Ultrabook laptop. Obviously there are gaming laptops that will do this, but if you compare this MacBook Pro 13-inch XPS 13, ZenBook Deluxe, whatever, no chance of doing this. Just started dropping frames there. So there you go. Let's see the rendering test.